Today I gotta show you something really cool. This is Toga wearing Uraraka's skin, and she has full access to Uraraka's quirk. But here's the cool thing, when you buy My Hero 1's Justice 2, you don't have access to this character. She's not even DLC, you cannot buy this character, she is completely fan-made. And it's not just the skin, it's a brand new character with a whole new moveset. Well, maybe brand new is a bit of a stretch. She uses moves from both Uraraka and Toga, and as far as I can tell, this mod was made by 3 people. TheSpahThatSpies, TCool Dzn, and TBBlur. If you have the game on PC, anyone can download and play this. I'll leave a link down below. And while we're giving out credit, I gotta say thank you Draco Wolf. He made a video on this mod and tagged me, and that's how I first saw it. So thank you for that. But the way they cross two characters' movesets is very interesting and loyal to what Toga was in this moment of Season 5, discovering this new power in the middle of battle. I'm pretty sure there are also some new moves in the mix, so even though this isn't the DLC review like I usually do, I think it's awesome if we look at this character's whole moveset as we usually do, because for the most part, it actually looks like something that could have been officially released, and that's incredible. So let's start with the red attack, which is pretty much just Uraraka's red attack. You can totally follow this up with attack buttons, and as you can see, the attack buttons, they are a mix of Uraraka and Toga. It starts with the knives, goes into a couple of punches, and finishes the combo with knives too, which is exactly what I was talking about. It's such an interesting mix of Toga and Uraraka, both styles merged together in a way that just works. In the air, it's exactly the same. If we move on to the armored attacks, they are just straight up Uraraka's. On the ground, you just make the character float, and in the air, if you play One Justice 2, you recognize that move anywhere. And then we got the quirk buttons. Quirk 1 just summons rocks, just like Uraraka, but this version cannot throw the rocks. This works almost like a buff for the attack buttons, because as you attack, you will see that the rocks are actually dealing extra damage, hitting the opponent. And since this version of Toga summons these pretty fast, you can pretty much just have these floating around you at all times. Tilt Quirk 1 is this whole attack animation, these 3 attacks that end in the float. You cannot really follow up the float with anything except for knives. Of course, you can always throw an assist or dash cancel to keep the combo going, but that's pretty much it. In the air, Tilt Quirk 1 is a brand new move, I believe. Toga dives feet first into her opponent and then does a little flip that makes them float for a little bit. Again, you cannot follow this up with anything unless you dash cancel or just throw some knives at the end. Quirk 2 is the knives that we've been throwing all this time, but you can actually charge this move. If you charge this move, then the knives will be thrown upwards, and look at those knives just floating. You can release this at any time and hit the opponent with them. Toga with this float quirk is really a threat. Floating knives, no thank you. And then Tilt Quirk 2 is a Rekka, but this time you can interrupt it at any time. So if you just press the button once, she does this. If you press it twice, she does this. If you press it 3 times, she goes into the air. And if you do it while jumping, she does 1, 2, 3. The cool thing about the Tilt Quirk 2 Rekka though is that you can interrupt it into Tilt Quirk 1 whenever you want. So if you're on the ground, you can do maybe just 1 into Tilt Quirk 1. You can do 2 into Tilt Quirk 1. You can even do the 3, which leaves Toga in the air, into Tilt Quirk 1, which is the dive downwards. And the same thing happens in the air. You can just do 1, 2, 3 and finish it with Tilt Quirk 1 diving back into the ground. And the ability to cancel this Rekka into her Tilt Quirk 1 at any time is what gives you so much player creativity when building combos with this character. I've been having just as much fun labbing this fan-made character as I have labbing the official characters whenever they are released. That's how good of a job they've done with this. I'm having just as much fun as the official DLCs. Now, I mentioned that you can't really do anything after the dive except for throwing knives, but what if the knives were actually charged up? Well, in that case, you can do all this. How freaking cool is that? And of course, you can throw some plus ultras at the end, so let's look at her plus ultras. On the ground, plus ultra 1, it is Toga's plus ultra 1. Alright, that's pretty straightforward. What about the air version? Well, in the air, it is Uraraka's plus ultra 1. But the coolest thing about this character is her plus ultra 2, which is brand new, and they made this whole animation. Check this out. It's pretty simple. The animation maybe doesn't have that polish that would come with an official character, but that effect right at the end, it shows everything that it needs to show. Toga with Uraraka's quirk would be terrifying. If you put it all together, her full combo could look something like this. If she was an official character, she would be a pretty high damage dealer. I later found out that this combo I discovered is almost exactly the same that they showcase in their mod page, which is actually really cool. I naturally found this route, and it seems like this was the intended route all along. We can try to make this a bit crazier with some assists though. So yeah, there is definitely a lot of character potential and a lot of creativity to be discovered. But the thing that just blows my mind is that this is even possible at all. Like, these three people have spent so much time of their lives developing the model, developing the moveset, and implementing it in a way that works in One's Justice 2. Like, three guys just made a DLC character. Is it as good of a character as the official DLC? Well, not quite. It's close, but it's not there yet. I don't want to turn this video into the usual comment that says, well, fans can make it, why can't the developers? Look at what these fans made without resources. Why aren't the developers just giving this stuff for free? Well, if this was an official DLC, I bet most people would be bummed out by how many moves were actually recycled. I think because it's fan-made, we usually lower our standards a little bit. And this character in the air just doesn't work sometimes. I don't think she has very good aerial buttons, but I've seen her miss that yellow attack more times than she should. And I've also seen that same move do some crazy tracking maneuver, 360 no gravity. To me, it is very impressive that fans were able to do this at all. And you might also say that Viking themselves have released characters with worse issues than the ones we looked at, and you're right, but this one also gives me an error message whenever I try to guard cancel. Still, if I was making the usual video asking, is this character worth your money? I'd say absolutely yes, because it's free. So you should actually just download and try it out. One's Justice 2 on the PC is the Wild West. It has no anti-cheat, so this is actually super easy to install. And you may even take this character online. I haven't tried it, but it probably works if you have other people with the same game version as you. So go ahead, try it out. The link is down below. I think this came out at the perfect time as well, right between DLCs. And if you've enjoyed new characters in One's Justice, I suspect you'll get a kick out of discovering this character as well. The next DLC for One's Justice 2 will be the last one. We don't know who it is yet, but we'll have a character review as always when they drop. If you don't want to miss it, make sure to subscribe. And just a massive thank you and great job to everyone involved in creating this. And thank you, Draco, for letting me know this was a thing. And as always, thank you very much for watching. My name is Globku, and I'll see you next time. Bye!